Experience the superior, smooth and quiet drive of an electric car all of the time. Nissan Qashqai with e-Power. The pleasure of electric driving without the need to plug in. Take the e-Power challenge with the Nissan Qashqai. Take a test drive today.
At Aldi, keep it fresh with Super 6 fresh fruit and veg offers and weekly low prices. Oh, that's tasty. Go all Aldi.
The softest skin needs the softest fairy. The dream team for sensitive skin. Always keep out of reach of children.
Yes, you're very welcome back. With the Euros in full swing, we Irish just can't get enough of it, literally. In the case of Barry Rojak from the Irish Sports Museum, he's brought some of his incredible collection with him this morning. Good morning to you, Barry.
Morning, Martin.
OK, the Euros are on. We're not
Absolutely.
there, unfortunately, but we have been there a couple of times.
We have.
More than a couple of times. Do you have a favourite Euros memory?
I guess, look, growing up, I was born just at the tail end of the 70s, so my first sort of early football memories were around Euro 88.
Right.
And actually, I was only about 8 or 9 then, so the football I don't remember as much. I remember Ray Houghton scoring, but it was more the music. It was more the excitement.
Yeah.
Like, I'd say to this day, if we cracked out The Boys in Green or Give It a Last Shack, everyone would still know the words.
Yeah.
You know, so that would be my earliest memory, and it was just fantastic. It was great to be Irish. It was great following the team and knowing we could compete with the best.
But listen, for I think it was about a week long between the England game, then the game against Russia, and then, of course, that unfortunate game against the Dutch, where we were nearly there. It was. We were just on it. We were just
the famous quote was, we won the first game 1-0. We lost the second game 1-1, and we drew the third game with a 1-0 loss. So it was it was a bit of a mad one, but it was a great performance and great times.
A song that stood out for me was "We're Off to Germany." Do you remember that one?
Yeah, The Boys in Green. That was it.
But there was another one as well. But it was anyway. There was a great music.
And then Joshua Go to Stuttgart came out of it as well, and that's one of the greatest songs of all time.
Yeah, and Christy is still asked to play. Will you tell us about the museum that you've set?
No problem. Yeah, so myself and 2 or 3 other collectors were getting together over COVID because we all had loads of free time.
Yeah.
And we had been collecting for many years, and we thought, look, it'd be really nice if we could get these out on display. From a business perspective, museums, it's very hard for museums to make money. The 2 times you go to a museum in your life, once when you go with your dad and your kid or with school, and then the second time when you're bringing your kids. That's it. So actually building a full-scale sports museum is very difficult. You've got some great individual museums like your GA Museum in Croke Park. You've got the rugby experience down in Limerick. So we wanted to have a more holistic experience. The only way we could really do that was to bring the display to the people. So we do pop-up displays every few months in different locations. We were in Belfast last weekend. We're occasionally in Dublin. We're in Bern next time in August, in Offaly, and we theme it around it. So this obviously is a European Championships display with a few of the shirts, match-worn and match-issued shirts from the different European Championships we've been involved in. But for the Rugby World Cup, it would have been like rugby jerseys from different World Cups and the like. Okay,
so but you're getting some of these jerseys from people who might have worn them in some instances, and some others who
absolutely. So you've got this network of collectors and historians who collect these. Obviously, players themselves have their collections, but they've been through it. They have the memories. A lot of the time, the jerseys are just an after the fact. So, but then long after they're gone, they say the palest ink is better than the best memory. These physically will be here long after the players are gone, and they allow you to try to step back in time and remember the feeling of being there, seeing Ronnie Whelan hitting the net, as you say, with the big Jerry Adams, the biggest shinner in the world. But a brilliant strike, you know.
What a goal.
What a great goal.
An incredible goal.
Great goal.
That's the jersey there. Is that the jersey that Ronnie
That is
wore?
the jersey there. So Ronnie swapped that jersey with Vasily Rats, who was a brilliant midfielder. You might remember yourself. He scored a fantastic goal against France in the previous World Cup. At the end of the game, Ronnie swapped that with Vasily, and then Vasily loved the jersey, and he had a lot of time for the Irish. That was a very good Irish performance. And he was living in Spain for a few years, and he would wear that at five-a-side all the time. Like that was it. So he was pretending to be Ronnie doing his scissors kicks and the like. So probably executing it a bit better with the foot. But in any event, that was it. And then he was looking to sell off his collection. Someone got in touch with me. They knew that we collected them for the museum and displays and stuff. So they said, "Look, would you be interested?" I said, "Absolutely. We'll bring it home."
Yeah. Okay. Next to that, and in a glass case.
Absolutely.
Is Marco van Basten's jersey from that same?
No, from the Ireland game, from the same European Championships. So Marco was obviously one of the greatest strikers of all time, one of the greatest strikers in world club international history, And that Dutch team obviously won the European Championships. He scored probably the best ever goal in the final in the European Championships.
Memorable.
Scored a hat-trick against England, which, you know, doesn't go down badly over here either, you know. Notoriously, we kept him out in that game as well. It was the only game he didn't score in the Championship. So but he was the personification of it. That Dutch team was amazing. They're brilliant. The players hated the jerseys. They were too long. They didn't like them. They didn't wear them before the Championships, and they went back to their old jerseys after the Championships.
Okay.
But for Dutch fans, that's what brings them back. They see that, and what a memory. And for football fans in general, like, you know, you kind of didn't get mind getting beat by the Dutch because they were just so good.
Yeah, well, they were the people who came up in the 70s with that total football.
Absolutely. Yeah. And that was the pinnacle of it.
Yeah. Well, they managed to win that. They lost 2 World Cups, but they won that Euros and 88. This is a jersey given to you by one of the loveliest people in sport. He's the 60 grand man. That is Seamus Coleman.
Well, so this is one of Seamus's spares. So by the time you get to the actual championships, the players now are getting, at this stage in Euro 2016, they're getting 3 or 4 shirts. So this is one of his spares. He didn't wear this one on the day. It's one of his spares. Seamus is a brilliant man. I'm a big Dublin GA man. I'm chairman of Captain TD GA. Yeah. Desi has big Dublin GA lineage. That's where I put his success.
Yeah. Oh, so you use the family connection.
Absolutely. Well, his uncle is Desi Farrell. Yeah. So, you know, and he was, and I'm a big Everton fan myself, so was delighted to pick up that one as one of the shirts from the European Championships. Okay,
so that's your boy sitting outside in the Everton shirt.
That's him sitting in the Everton shirt, the Campbell 9.
Okay, yeah, no, Seamus Coleman, great ambassador, great captain for Ireland. Now, when you brought this display in, I was drawn to these 2 jerseys because for those who aren't aware of it, these jerseys were worn when an Irish selection played Brazil, 1973, I think it was.
50 years ago last year. Time flies.
Wow, it certainly does. And this was some game because it was an Irish selection with players from the north and the south, and they did something that very few teams got to do.
Absolutely, and at that stage, like, funny enough, some of those players would have grown up seeing an All-Ireland 11 because up to 1950, both the Irish Football Association of Belfast and Football Association of Ireland Dublin selected on a 32 county basis. Yeah. So they wouldn't have been as unfamiliar with that concept as others would, but definitely politically, it was past that being something that was likely to happen. So for a one-off game, Derek Dugan and Johnny Giles got together. They said, let's make this happen. And I was asked by your researchers what I thought my favourite shirt was in the museum collection. And I think this pair here, this is Clodoaldo. You know Clodoaldo, the famous goal in the 1970 World Cup final when Carlos Alberto hammers it in the net. Mm-hmm. That starts off with him doing a little pirouette.
That's right. Yeah.
That's Clodoaldo doing that, and that's his jersey from the same game. He swapped that with Terry Conroy. And this is my identity. He's my identity. He passed away there earlier, but he that was his shirt from the same game. He came on late in the game.
Okay. That was the first game in a very, very long time when Brazil conceded 3 goals.
Yeah, in I think it was something like 8 to 10 years they hadn't conceded 3 goals. And Pat Jennings saved a penalty in that game as well, actually. Finished 4-3, but a great game, a great atmosphere, a great occasion, and great history. And that's what it evokes. It evokes the history. We had Paddy Mulligan in with the Little Museum of Dublin, and we were talking about it, and it just came flooding back. Just the look and the feel of it. It's just, you can't beat it.
Okay, there are people who are saying, right, so Marco van Basten's jerseys over there in a glass case. You've got these great cases, these great jerseys here, and there's many more here that we haven't got near yet. There's a value on them. You wouldn't even entertain the thought of selling it.
Yeah, but the reality is that people who get into this don't do it for money. It's not money is not the issue. It's the history of it. It's preserving the history, sharing the history with others, actually getting people to look and experience that, you know, and that's really what it's all about. Like, you know, one man's treasure is another man's trash. Yeah. That's the reality, you know. But what I would say is when we do the museums, we do actually have a parallel retail side to it where we sell the old jerseys you could buy in the shops. So if you wore a particular jersey when you were a kid and you've either grown up or you've grown out, or both in my case, right? So, and you want to get the same jersey contemporaneously from then, they're very hard to get. You don't want to buy on the internet. You don't want to get fakes. You won't. Size. You come down to us and we have a rake of them for sale.
Well, retro jerseys have become quite fashionable as well.
As you can see at the Euros in the crowd, they're all wearing them.
You can say they're all wearing them. And you don't just do football. We just focus on football because of the Euros. You do rugby, you do GAA. I've seen some great jerseys over there.
Yeah, I mean, look, some as you'd immediately have an inclination towards some of the old Dublin jerseys.
Yeah, we won an All-Ireland in that one.
We did.
We lost an All-Ireland in that one.
Absolutely, that's it. So fantastic jerseys. But you can see even at that stage, in the space of just over 10 years, the evolution of material and everything else and the sizing. Brilliant stuff. And you can get that kind of thing. The old Lions jersey, very popular from 1997. So that's the... if anyone wants to check them out, they can come down to us and follow us on Irish Sports Museum on the social media and they'll have a look.
Okay. Barry, thanks so much.
No, brilliant.
To view more of these stunning kits, head on over, as Barry just said, to irishsportsmuseum.ie. After the break, we're returning to Chicago's least friendly restaurant as we preview the new series of The Bear, plus everything else that's coming to tellies next week.
Lenore Unstoppables for a whoosh of fresh that lasts and lasts. Even at the end of the day, the non-stop whoosh of fresh.
Welcome to the Fortune Hotel,
Find the money and keep hold of it.
where 10 pairs will lie,
I don't trust that guy.
cheat,
What's in your case?
Nothing.
and steal
We want our case back.
for a chance to win a fortune.
I want to say something. I don't want to hear it.
Love this drama.
You can't trust anyone in the Fortune Hotel. Watch the full series box set now for free on Virgin Media Player.